Peace and pugilism. Fight fanatics is Myron Magnus. And of course, another segment of Boxing Logics United. We're about to review a short part of the interview with Jamie Moore by Boxing Social. And he made a statement that he doesn't think Anthony Joshua needs to leave Rob McCracken. Okay? And we're going to analyze this and also go over some of the comments made under this video as well. Let's watch.
Moving on to the other side of the British interest, that being Anthony Joshua, who looks like he's doing a US tour. He's been to see Virgil Hunter, Eddie Reynoso, Ronnie Shields. What do you make of the potential change that Anthony Joshua could make in going over to the US and finding something different there with trainer-wise, and the potential of linking up with any of those three?
I don't think it, from a training point of view, I don't think he should or needs to move away from Rob McCracken. I think he's got everything there what he needs, but if he feels like he needs to move, then he needs to move, because you're never going to perform to your best if you've got those thoughts and feelings in you. And I'm, guessing, I really don't know the situation, but I think maybe it's not even a case of just leaving Rob McCracken. I think it's a case of getting out of this country. Maybe there's a lot of pressure on him. He's under a magnifying glass constantly. So maybe it's a way of him sort of going, or maybe it's a motivational thing. We're going, you know what, I really don't feel like when I'm over here, I want to be pushing myself, or I've got that drive and determination anymore. So maybe he's gone over there to see if it sort of reignites.
He said some interesting things. Let's pause right there. He said maybe contract issues. He said maybe tired of the spotlight and all the eyes on him. I find that hard to believe. Very hard to believe. Why? I believe Anthony Joshua has had the spotlight on him since he beat Klitschko. He's been the media darling, or not, ever since he beat Klitschko. I don't believe it's the spotlight that Anthony Joshua is cracking under. I think it's the tutelage. And then he also mentioned a contract. He wants to get out of his contract? I don't know who Jamie Moore is. I don't know his background. You do more than I do. Knights of the Preterican, please fill me in. Or why this man, you think man will say something about the contract that he want to get out of it? Has he heard something from the back? I mean, behind the scenes? On the streets? Does he have a good relationship with Rob McCracken? He's absolutely right when he says maybe he should, because if he's having these feelings about moving to another trainer, that he will never perform to the best of his ability. That is true. And he probably won't perform to the best of his ability because he will not be receiving fully, clearly, everything his trainer is giving him. Instruction outside the ring or inside the ring. So, yes, that's all the more reason to leave a trainer. And it's not, like I said in the previous video, I don't think it's because a love loss or anything. Now, one of the things he said he could have begun, I believe, getting stagnated and need some new motivation, because what he's doing right now, I believe, or how he's performed in, say, the last 3 or so fights, he needs some motivation. How he's performed in the last 3 fights, we can see hasn't motivated him to want to get better, because we haven't seen him improve and get tremendously better over the last 3 fights. So yes, leaving another trainer, not being able to physically himself see or feel himself getting better each fight. You have to put that somewhat on the trainer, I believe, because it's partly the trainer. Yes, the fighter must be motivated. First, let me say the fighter must be first himself motivated tremendously to want to exceed and be the best. And I believe the first 18, 19, 20 fights by Joshua has proven he wants to exceed to be the best. If you just look at his record and his resume, I think it should be no question that he's or feels that he's done enough. There should be no question that Joshua wants to be in the institution of history as one of the best or the best of this era, of his era. There's no doubt without that, you know? But again, some of the things this man said as far as like he believed the contract, the eyes, spotlight, he just signed the contract before this fight. He just signed a lifelong contract to the zone just before this fight. Now he wants to get out of it? That don't make any sense right there, okay? And all of you who know about Jamie Moore specifically much more than I do, please feel free to comment and give us a little bit more insight here on Across the Pond about maybe Jamie Moore, relationship with Rob McCracken, or so forth that we need to know. But let's continue.
Sparking him, but maybe he's got to the stage where he's achieved so much, and financially he's so secure. He's looking for something to reignite him when he's probably not. It's not possible to do because he's achieved so much and he's done everything he needed to do in the sport. There's no.
Okay, I find that very hard to believe. A loss should ignite you. I'm pretty sure a loss would definitely ignite you, especially when this young man has been saying for the last few years that I've personally heard him say in various hundreds of interviews, because I've done hundreds of videos, that this brother is pursuing undisputed. He's pursuing undisputed. So I do not. Again, I agree with Mr. Jamie Moore. Disagree, my apologies, with Mr. Jamie Moore that the feeling of he's achieved enough in the sport or earned enough money and all of that stuff. No. Anthony Joshua's been earning a lot of money for a while. He's been earning quite a bit of money for quite a bit of time now, for a few years. Hell, the rematch with Andy Ruiz, he reportedly made $80 million. You guys tell me what you think definitely about this video. But give us some insight.
Shame in losing to someone like Usyk whatsoever. You know, he's a phenomenal fighter. And even if he loses in the rematch and then goes, right, I'll walk away, no one can ever take away what an unbelievable career he's had and the impact he's had on British boxing. You know,
let me say something else again. My apologies. I get tired of the talk about these heavyweights quitting or retiring after a loss. My apologies. I raised through the golden age of boxing. And when Thomas Hitman Hearns got sparked out by Iran Barkley, there wasn't no talk of him retiring. Okay? Roberto Duran got knocked out by Thomas Hitman Hearns. There was no talk or people saying, well, maybe he should retire. He's done enough. Now, I'm not saying these young men of this age are from that same cloth. I'm not saying they're not, though. You know what I'm saying? Through subliminal messaging with words like these. Not at all. So I would appreciate, no matter who it is, if it's Joshua, if it's Wilder, um, the fighters you believe are less skilled, stop mentioning things about they've probably achieved enough and they haven't. Maybe they can't find the motivation or whatever. These fighters have been fighting quite a bit of time and long enough to where they're now fighters. They've been in the wars. They've been in the battles that we should consider them fighters. We could. It's their blood. It's their life now. They enjoy the ring. So let's stop diminishing these fighters. I mean, whether it's Wilder, Joshua, because you only hear this talk really pertaining to these two, I've noticed. And I'm sure some of you have too. Well, maybe they should retire and such, and they've made so much. He's made so much when they talk about Joshua, or whether it's talk about Wilder. Oh, he got sparked out. He got beat pillar to post by Fury. He doesn't have no skills. He should just retire and hang it up. Let's not disrespect these men who have put their lives on the line for our entertainment. In quoting Wilder, who was the first time I said it, and give them the respect they deserve. If you have witnessed these guys, like we all have, fight, okay, been dropped up and do what they do, give them use the proper rhetoric you would use for a fighter back in the heyday. Okay, you may feel or think what you think, but this is what we have, okay, and we should appreciate them. Let's continue.
Purely boxing point of view, it's probably a psychological thing. He wants to change the scenery, go out there, maybe freshen up. So I don't think it's an actual, in terms of Rob McCracken's ability, I don't think he needs a different type of training. I just think he might just need a change of scenery.
Jamie, let's leave it there. Appreciate your time. I wish you all the best in this busy period that you've got coming up with your...
And yeah, okay, and that was the end of that interview. Okay, now let's read some of these comments. Okay, by Elias Vergessen. He had been a champion for 5+ years and still doesn't look like a seasoned champion like Fury does. He clearly needs to leave Rob. The guy is training GB fighters and novices. He needs a dedicated, real trainer. Good comment. Not one that shouts brilliant, AJ, when he's getting his head punched in. And that guy got 8 likes by his. This other guy, second guy, like F no name. He needs someone who will cuss him. He needs someone who cuss him the fuck out. Rob's sitting here yelling brilliant during the whole fight while he's losing. Now he's kind of repeated what the guy said before. Now here's Mover Brick Barry. He needs to leave McCracken point blank. He can't do any more for the man. Now is the time. Reynoso, Sugar Hill, etc. He needs someone else if he's going to get to the next level. He has achieved magnificent, but there is a large scope for improvement. Let's see. Okay, by Oman. Rob is useless. Damn. He would do better without a trainer than keep it behind the jab Rob. He would do better without a trainer than keep it behind the jab Rob. Well, the jab is very, very, very important, bro. We don't want to knock the jab. It's what you do after the jab. You know what I'm saying? Jamie, okay, by James Locke. Jamie knows the score. What does he mean by that? Dan Wheeler. Time for a trainer that can help deliver his aggressiveness effectively. Shame Furies with Sugar Hill, as that would be the ideal trainer in my opinion. Sugar Hill, Lennox Lewis, Tommy Brooks, some others too. He got some good stuff. He might be better off. So here's what we talk about. By Juicebox. He might be better off retiring. He ain't got the following anymore, and he got a glass jaw boring fighter. He got a glass jaw boring. This guy's nuts. These dudes are stupid. I reckon Joe Joyce will spark him out. Well, I'm not going to. say George Joyce is not a quality and a fine opponent himself. George Joyce could probably spark any of them out. And if you don't think so, I would like for you to tell me why not. But that is what I have for you today. My name is Myron Magnus of Boxing Logics United. Like, subscribe, and share. And please give me a comment on what you think on the interview and what we've talked about so far. All right? Peace and pugilism.